Hi, Sean. How are you? I can't hear you. Turn the microphone on.
There you go. I always forget that one.
Well, I'm very excited. I'm glad you're here. I think it's great to talk about the subject. And I think actually we should talk about putting like a mini intro to the maybe 8 episode series. And like I want to put it into that community with Haley, and there's things I have in mind to get people interested in the program, right?
Yeah, the physical program. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
I do my community work. It's very interesting to get my actual paper from the Napoleon Hill Foundation. Like they've certified me, they've agreed to my community work, but I get it based on December 4th and December 11th. I go to an it's a center for unemployment where people lose their jobs or immigrants come. They've studied overseas, in another country, but they can't get their work here. So I'm going and I've applied the 17 principles of Napoleon Hill into a program to a 6 hour program over 2 sessions that that actually encourage people on positive mental attitude and what they can do to go after their dream, their job. There are people kind of beat up because they've lost their job or so you have to be careful because, you know, but I laughed because when I went and met them and told them what I wanted to do, the actual foundation later said to me, they're very, very impressed with the fact that I'm teaching things and never telling somebody what they're learning. Like I'm basically, like I'm not telling them this is the principle of mastermind alliance. I'm just showing them what a mastermind alliance is. So you don't know that they're the principles. And he said, that's not easy to do. He said, but you've done it, he said. And then with the program, I adapted it to their program. So he said, you didn't just say, sometimes you do a course, you do this all the time with what you do. Who am I talking to? What do they know? And you adapt to your audience. Well, but not everybody does that, Sean. Not
Yeah,
every
where else do you lose their attention? If you don't match up with them, feel, at what level they are. That's not everybody that opens up a book and starts studying vitamins or glucose or sleep.
But you
They'll
know what it
see.
is? They actually think, here's the thing, they think my program, I'm going to teach you goal setting, you do this. Very few people say, wait a minute, I'm going to introduce you to some things, and you're going to pick what spaghetti works for you that's going to stick on the wall. Because I don't know what's going to work for you. I I can give you 10 ways to do it, but you can take the Highway 20 or the Highway 40 to get to the West Island. They're both going to get you there. One's might take longer, one's different. You see, the problem with people that write programs is they're purists. That's why they need people like you that interpret. When somebody's writing about sleep, well, that's all fine. They're purist in what they're doing without considering the other factors. you know, they're like, no, it's like they're on a one-man island, my way or the highway. That's what you got to do for the people in your life, my way or the highway.
There's always a good chat.
Well, it is, and it's not. I laugh because when you raise children, you learn to pay attention and adapt. What works for your daughter is not going to work for your son. What's going to work for you, right? You could be
Oh
doing the
yeah.
same thing, and you're saying, I did this already. How come it's not working? Des personnalités tellement différentes. It's
Oh yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
yeah. That's why they say, in studying Napoleon Hill, I've really loved the journey. I love that he reminds me of other people, other things. And he was a bit of a purist that way. Like he did his thing. But I love relationships where they respect each other. And what he teaches is the best mastermind you could ever have is a wife and a husband. And he doesn't talk about LGBTQ and all this. He doesn't talk. He says that a wife and a husband is the best mastermind you'll ever have. And if you go to all inventions at one point, the Henry Fords, the Thomas Edison, their best partner was having a supportive partner that they went home to. And you know, you could see that, like you and Sylvie, you've on a journey together. I mean, you're on a health journey. You're both you're doing this. She's following. She's supporting your journey.
Yeah.
You know, you support her journey when she's on it. That makes all the difference in the world. Like I'm so glad I'm with Bill for that. He's been wonderful to raise our son together, to go through a journey of life, to welcome. You know, like we really have a really nice, complete life. Not because we always see things the same way, but we always find the way that it's going to work for the two of us to agree with each other.
Yeah. No, it's so important to support your partner in his goals, his dreams, as much as, you know, as we get older, we're asking ourselves, it's like, what do I want to leave behind? Or what are the things that I didn't succeed in doing that I would like to do now that I have maybe a little bit more time? You know, whatever you may call it.
You have more time, more money, more wisdom, more like everything. You know what? People look and they say, and I want you to know that I'm doing the magnesium and I'm purposely not getting out of my bed. Okay, like I am not. I'm going to sit, I'm going to clear my mind. I'm doing the KD, I'm doing the magnesium, and I'm sleeping 6.5 to 7 hours a night, Jean.
That is nice.
I'm getting up. I'm going to tell you, I'm getting up. I have my, not out of the bed, but je réveille. But you know what the difference was? Your explanation, and we're going to talk about tonight, whatever you want to talk, we're just talking at large. Your explanation made me realize that it's normal to have broken sleep. It's normal to wake up. Now, doesn't mean I'm awake. It's time to get out of bed. It means you're in a pattern. I'm in a pattern. So when I learned, oh, okay, this is just, I'm in the middle of cycles or whatever, just go back to sleep. I tell my mind, I tell myself, oh, I'm just in this pattern, wake up. I got to go back to sleep now. And I don't get up. I don't feel like, okay, I'm awake. It's time to get up. You know, you're awake. So in my head, you're awake. You got to get up. Like, don't be lazy in my head. Don't be lazy. Stay in bed. You're awake. What are you going to do? Try to sleep? Yes. I tell myself yes. But in the past, I didn't know the value of sleep.
Yeah.
So why would I tell myself to go back to sleep? Instead, I'm saying you better wake up. Hey, you're missing time now. It's time to get things done. You're awake. You had enough sleep. So you can imagine my body and my mind must be having a lovely time because I'm telling it the opposite of what I told it my whole life. So my whole life, I'm like, okay, get up, you're awake, don't be lazy. Now I'm saying, this is very normal. You're in the middle of a pattern. Don't even look at the clock. Oh no, why is Karine's waiting for me? How am I going to get her now? Let me see. I think I have to get her. No, she's not.
He's texting you to come in or what?
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
well, just send her that invite that you sent me.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? Okay. Karine, go into Facebook and check the link. It's the Feed Your Mind 5405 link I'm in with John. Yeah, the link we're in is the 5405. It's the feature. Yeah. Well, we're in the one that goes to Energize Your Life. When you send an email, the Energize Your Life, that's the email. But I put it in Facebook in your messenger. Okay, so that I just put so that you both have it. So, okay, perfect. Take care. Bye. And I think that's what's been the fascinating part is the direction. And I'm sure my body and my mind are saying, hey, what instruction is this you're giving me? Don't you understand? Now I'm saying, no, it's okay. You're not awake yet. You just think you're awake, like, so I'm playing with my mind. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny if you like, when I'm in bed, I'm sort of saying, don't look at the clock because I don't know where I am. Am I waking up at 3? Am I waking up at 4? Am I waking up at 6? Before I would wake up, look at the clock. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's okay. Get up. You've slept now. The first thing, I wake up, look and see the time, get up. Whereas now, it doesn't matter if it's 6 o'clock, doesn't matter what time. I'm saying, no, you're not awake yet. And you're not awake yet. Like this is normal. You're in that little pattern thing. I didn't
That's
tell
good.
you this.
Your brain's funny saying, oh, damn, finally. Take care.
Karine, I had a really interesting just past
Green.
conversation, and I'll go into the Zoom. I was telling Jean how my sleep is going like 6.5 to 7 hours. And I realized all these years, remember, for me, time is important, right? Like I don't want to waste time. So once I would wake up, I'd be, okay, don't be lazy, get up, you're up, get to go. Now what I'm doing is, because of this conference, I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying, oh, it's not time to get up. You're in that pattern there. You're in that break where you wake up, but you're not really awake. Go back to sleep. And I'm telling myself, don't wake up. Don't get out of bed.
But wait, sorry. When you wake up after 7 hours, you're saying don't wake up?
No, throughout the night. You wake up throughout the night.
Yeah.
Right. So in the past, as soon as I did that wake up, that break that he talks about in his chart, I'm like, get out of bed, wake up, you're awake.
Oh, I don't do that. I don't ever do that.
Yeah, well,
2 o'clock in the morning, like it is not time to get up yet.
Oh no, I'm like, get up now. Don't be lazy. So now, since Jean's thing, I'm doing the opposite. I'm laughing. My brain and my body must be having a party because I'm telling it, no, just this is normal. This is normal.
Good.
I'm going to go now. I'm going to get us into.
Hi, Jean.
Hi.
Yeah. Always never a dull moment, that's for sure. Let me go here. Live on Facebook, I'm going.
Perfect. Today, while we're going live, I'll just start it by saying today I found that channel on, I don't know, I guess, what do we have? Bell Satellite or whatever it is. That's the fireplace. Do you guys have this in Quebec? I've
My
had
mother
it on all
looked at that. We got a real one, but my mother looked at that.
I also have a real one, just not near my desk. And so I've been on my computer most of the day. And it's just, I can even hear, I turned up the volume so you can hear the crackling of the fire in the background.
It's relaxing.
It is relaxing. I think my dog is seriously enjoying it. He's been snuggled up nearby and listening to it as well. So.
There's actually a YouTube channel on that.
Is it a YouTube channel too? Okay.
No, there is a YouTube channel also on there.
I love it. It's fantastic. It's my new best friend. It's my new work partner.
Okay, I'm getting ready to go live.
Okay.
I am going to go back and I'm going to press.
I have a lot of light behind me, but unfortunately I didn't get set up at my usual spot.
So we are going to record this now. Are we live yet?
Yeah, it asked me. Yeah.
Let's go.
There we go. Okay.
There we go. I'm going to say, hi, who's starting this? Say.
Oh, well, I can jump right in. We are here. It's 6:05, I guess. Our typical Wednesday night Sage Navigation. Hello, Dockside. Always a pleasure to see everybody. And tonight we have a special guest, our special guest in our Sage Navigation health. Well, how do we? I actually just did it on the promo. So we have given you a title, Jean. Do you know this?
Energize.
He is the health chief.
Navigator.
That's it.
Well,
Anyways,
okay.
welcome, Jean. Thank you for joining
Cool.
us. We always enjoy having you because we can be selfish and ask you questions for ourselves.
I thought I was just a health geek.
That we could easily put that label on you, but we
Oh,
think
yeah.
you're more than just a geek. Because a geek reminds me of what they do for themselves. And what you do is you have the geek part, but you've navigated it and benefited so many other people in your shares. So, and we are.
Yeah, Katherine and I actually, sorry, Katherine, to interrupt.
Yeah.
We were talking this morning about having you on, and I was saying that I've learned so much from you that I've incorporated into my life. For example, I have an alarm on my phone now at 8 o'clock every night, and it says stop eating. And, I think people who might not know us and our journey that we've been on, with Sage Navigation and me personally in my physical pillar, I realized that I was not giving my body a bit of a break, particularly before I was going to sleep. We eat very late in our house, like 9:30 dinners is not uncommon in our house. So, and that, in fact, that's average. I would say if we eat before 9 o'clock, that's an anomaly. So anyways, I've made my husband, and now that I only have one child still at home, I did have 4 up until a few months ago. But now that it's just my youngest and my husband and I make an effort for us to be eating at 7:30. And if for some reason we can't eat at 7:30, I eat at 7:30. And then I'll sit down with my husband and my son Beckett for a later meal if that's when they're going to eat. But I won't eat after 8 o'clock anymore. I'm trying, and it's made a world of difference to my sleep, I think.
Yeah.
And also I wake up in the morning, I feel more energized. I don't know how exactly it all works, but I'm telling you that's one change that I've made to my lifestyle because of our conversations, and it has been a very positive change.
It makes a difference in your body cleaning up, giving it time. Because if you still eat after 8 o'clock during the night, it's still working on that food. So it doesn't have time to do that autophagy that we all know of.
Right.
Which it does in the middle of the night because our body does it all the time anyways. So it just gives it more time to, because your stomach's empty after 3 or 4 hours.
Well, and I think, going to, again, more things that we're learning about while we're sleeping and the rejuvenation of our cells and all of those things that our body's supposed to be doing. In my mind anyways, I'm allowing my body, sort of allowing it to do what it's supposed to do rather than making it have to work extra hard because I'm not giving it enough time. That's sort of the way that I think about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
A good way. I know I called Jean from, I went to, if you're in Montreal, I don't know where you are, whoever's listening to us. I don't know if this store exists in Ontario, but it's a health food store. It's Marché Tôt. And while I was there, I wanted to make sure I got the right magnesium and I got the right K and D based on the conference. And if you want to know more about it, reach out. We'll be having a conference. But to continue on that, I figured I may as well talk about, I didn't say his wife, Sylvie, we're so fortunate. She's on the journey with him. So she thinks, okay, well, she goes to the cupboard, I guess, and pulls out the sugar that I should be using, or because I heard her in the background. I don't know who was guiding it, but I can tell you that the next thing you know, I'm buying coconut sugar. And I thought, oh, what's this going to be like, right? And I'm replacing my white sugar bowl with coconut sugar. And it's that easy. And I was, because I do like to have a good cup of coffee in the morning. And I like to have sugar in it. Not a lot, but a little. And what that did for me was, and Jean was kind enough because I was going cold turkey and no sugar at all. And then he said, by the way, and it really helps in another area. When you're cooking and you need sugar, well, replacing the coconut sugar in a recipe like a banana bread or, some people replace with other ingredients. But if you do have a recipe that calls for sugar, it's very interesting. Even the flowers, like I can't believe when you start, you know, we're on the journey. I'm on that physical wealth journey right now, right started it last week. And I'm thinking about the flowers, the gluten-free flowers. And there was a time I tried to make a cake with gluten-free, a carrot cake, and everybody knew. But now I made, about a month ago, I tried the gluten-free because we had somebody that was gluten intolerant. Nobody at the table knew I made it with that flour. Nobody.
I can jump in on that because it was about 20 years ago that I started experimenting with different types of ingredients, because I was also learning that I was not in any way even gluten intolerant, but I just noticed that I definitely digested it differently. And I thought, well, I don't have to digest things differently. Let's try something else. And it's a long story, but it was about 20 years ago when this started. And the product lines that are available now compared to what they were 20 years ago, they are significantly different. You know, that some of the gluten-free pasta, for example, that you used to buy, you know, way back when, it disintegrated in your mouth, basically, if you cooked it. But it's interesting that it is really about experimenting, Catherine. I think that's really great. I think trying, you know, different things and learning how to do things differently. I think it's a great start.
And it's not
a
that
little bit at a time.
A little bit at a time.
A little bit at a time.
And John, we haven't talked about the flowers, so I might have even more coming my way. But the sugar, I call it a vitamin, and you guided on sugar, and it was like a pleasant surprise. And you could have had me shop. I probably would have been like Karine when I introduced her to books. I would have probably bought $1,000 order.
Yeah, Jean, you should, you know, earn points right now from the shopping that she's going to do, because she'll listen to you and she'll buy the things. Like I listened to her and bought all the books. I do want to ask you though, because again, you guys are in Quebec, I'm in Ontario. Is there an equivalent to the bulk barn in Quebec?
We have bulk barns.
Yeah, bulk barn. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I would just say, Catherine, bulk barn can be your new destination, not just because it's a great way to buy with less waste and plastic and the environment in mind and all of those things, and economically as well, obviously, but they have a wonderful array of different flours, different sugars, different baking products that will definitely, at least the one that I go to, I can tell you, it really is quite amazing that you can buy, you know, you can buy the almond flour now just by going down the street.
I have to say that I'm enjoying. I knew I'd like my mental wealth pillar. It wasn't so challenging for me.
Yeah.
It was unexpected results, but not challenging. I didn't feel like, oh, might be more difficult than I've taken on. But with this pillar, I have so much to relearn. That's what I would say, to relearn. And I'm so grateful for both of you, because it's very important to both of you in different areas, and you have such knowledge.
But Jean, I would say, and similar to all of the pillars, that you constantly need to learn because things are constantly changing. And I was saying earlier, and Jean, I'm sure you can speak to this too, as we age, what our bodies need changes. And so you have to relearn, whether you're talking about hormones, whether you're talking about the way your body just actually works at a different age compared to when you're in your 20s, when you're in your 50s. It's a very different system that you're working with.
Oh yeah. Yeah, especially I took that all in account creating my conferences, because I mean, I'm at that age now. So it's like the difference in nutrition, supplementing, protein, everything is changing the way we need to do it, as when you were 30 or 20, and even 40 and even 50, you know. Definitely. And then you being a woman is even more difficult, because the different hormone changes you have is like way much more than we do, you know. Puberty is like 7 or 8 steps when you're so young, and then pre and menopause and post-menopause, and then there's another one after post-menopause. You're not protected anymore. You age faster than us. As when you were menopause, you were protected. We age faster, and now it's like reversed, and it's like, wow. And when you read about it, it's like, wow, there's a lot of differences for you.
it was really crystal clear for those of us that had children. You know, that's really when, as women, you start to figure out what you put into your body is actually of extreme importance, right? You're told to avoid certain things when you have a baby inside. You know, you're supposed to take in certain things to help the development. For me, for sure, that's when it was like, oh, wait a second. This is like a machine that I'm feeding here. And to your point, as we age, we go through different phases. I actually had a very close friend of mine, you know, this is Movember after all, and a very dear person in my life was diagnosed with stage 2 prostate cancer at age 64, 3 weeks before his retirement. He literally is retiring on his 65th birthday in December. And I mentioned this to Katherine, and she was saying, Jean, you probably might another time perhaps, but I'm sure this falls into your category as well. I know that you're really well educated when it comes to dealing with certain types of illnesses and prevention and all of those amazing things that I think our Sage Navigation community will really benefit from.
I put like un démol. How do you say that in English? Un démol là-dessus. Je mets un démol là-dessus. Like I put like oh my, how would you say that?
No, well, what are you referring to? Do you put a ceiling on it? Do you put a demul? You don't touch that?
It's not that I don't touch it, but I over, cover it like slightly, because when you're starting to
You
talk
just
about
do an
disease
overview of
and
it.
things like that, an
Overview.
overview, and you start talking about disease, certain specific things, even though I know it,
Yeah,
I'm being
You
very
have to be
careful
cautious.
because
Yeah.
of
I'm not
course.
a doctor.
Of
and
course.
it's very, even if you go on YouTube, I can't even talk about a disease
No,
or
no.
something like that. If I talk about it, I just say, hey, you know what? They came up with this new thing. Check it out
And
yourself.
I
But I gotta
think
be careful on how it is, because
Yes.
people might see it the wrong way, interpret it the wrong
No.
way, and it goes sideways from there. So you have to
Absolutely.
be careful on that.
Absolutely. I mean, frankly, that's how we are with most of our pillars at Sage, is we are
Yeah.
not telling people what they should and should not be doing
No,
by
no,
any stretch of the
absolutely
word.
not. Yeah.
But I do think it can be interesting. For example, just even during your last presentation with our community, I don't know if you recognize this, but magnesium suddenly became a buzzword for a lot of people in our circle. I mean, Katherine is one, my sister was another. I know that there's other people talking about it, and just even pointing people to those types of conversations so they can educate themselves. I think that's really of value.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be covering that if I have time on December 12th.
well,
Yeah.
Shara, I really want to talk about that December 12th right now, because I think, like, for me personally, why am I excited? And I think I'm no different from the rest of the community. Somebody says, it's wintertime, take vitamin D. Oh, take vitamin D. That's true. The sun's not out because I'm in the winter months up north. Yeah, perfect. Or they'll say, are you getting enough vitamin C? So we have been sold, marketed to, the great big marketing machine puts the big picture. If you want to stay energized, take vitamin D. And when we talk, we're going to do a conference, a long conference, but this one that we're doing for free, there's no reason for you not to sign up for it, because Jean's going to speak to supplements, minerals, vitamins, and Karine will finish up what I'm saying here. But we are sold what's good for us. We are told, take 1,000 of units of this and take this, with nothing more than it's good for you. And to us, because they use, this is the next line you get, it'll help you be wrinkle-free and keep you slim. You know what? We're not going to tell you it's going to keep you wrinkle-free, and we're not going to tell you it's going to keep you slim. Here's what we're going to tell you. We're going to tell you to try the things. Speak to the right people in certain aspects. Trust your body and listen to it. And we're going to tell you the most important thing of all. What works for you may not work for me. But with knowledge,
Exactly. Yeah.
you can do something.
This is what I love I will leave it with Jean to close up here and we'll tell sorry, I don't have it in front of me. December 12th at 7:00, right? It's on our website, sagenavigation.ca for anybody who's listening to this. Please go and register, and that's how you'll get the Zoom link so you can join us. So what I love about this conversation and what it's so simple, and yet everybody kind of forgets about it. So Katherine, you should take 1,000 milligrams, what is it? UI, thank you. Of vitamin D.
Yeah.
How much vitamin D do you have in your body right now, Katherine? Can you tell me?
Well, I don't know. How do you find, wait a minute, no, I got a better answer. How would I know?
But this, so my point is, and I know Jean's like this too, and you know I'm like this too. I get my blood work done every
4 pages.
Yeah.
That's what you should get. Know your calcium, magnesium, salt, everything, before you move forward and saying, I need vitamin D. That's why my last
because my vitamin D levels, Katherine, are very different than your vitamin D levels. And frankly, you might be getting enough vitamin D because of your diet. You don't even need to take supplements. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Well, I'm sure it's not, but that's okay.
No, but my point is,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'm just saying my point is we all think, I need to take this because it's going to do this for me. Do you actually know what you need to take? So that's the question.
Yeah. Just to show you a quick example, I'm at 90 something. I'm always inside. I never go out. I work inside. I train inside. I do my stuff inside. I'm never outside. Sylvie eats the same thing I do. She's outside with the kids at school all day, taking sun, rain, whatever the thing.
Yeah.
Her levels were at 80.
Hers are lower than yours, even though you're
younger than me, so her skin is thicker than mine. So her skin's able to produce more vitamin D than me, but yet she has less. So every molecules for everybody is always different. And you think you're missing, and sometimes you might not. But it's good to have a vitamin D check, which you only could have every 2 years. I suggest between November and February, where there's no sun, you see how your body reacts to it. And you go for a blood test. You ask your doctor, you're gonna say, you know what? They're expensive. No, just tell them I'm having bone problems. It's gonna pass.
Well, Jean, I'm putting you on the spot. I'm gonna have a request. And Sage Navigation, I think, is gonna love me for this. All these navigators, if you're not listening, you'll want this checklist. I would love a checklist on are your vitamin D, the essentials, not complicated, not like I'm going to a doctor.
But a checklist for what?
If I go for my blood test, okay, they're going to do a normal whatever. But what are the things that I want to monitor after? What should I know when I go? What should I ask for? Vitamin D is one. Maybe there's another. I don't know what else.
Yeah, for women, B12, iron, those kind of things.
And I'm not saying as a doctor. I'm talking as a normal person that goes to someone, and I'm going to go to an expert, and I want to be able to talk intelligently of the things when we talk vitamins and supplement that I might want to just check, that I may want to know.
Yeah, well, it is. Basically, you ask for a complete blood test. They know what you're talking about. Because complete blood test doesn't just go and test everything, minerals and vitamins that you need. It will go and check your thyroid, things like that. And you can see sometimes your thyroid's not working properly because your calcium might be balanced, but you're overeating too much calcium, or you're taking too much calcium supplements, but your kidneys are working 3 times harder to get rid of it and keep the level steady. So you need to check all the other things that they're working properly. So a complete blood test, that's what you ask for. It's about 10, 11 pages.
And this is also why a doctor, and they're hard to find, and we can talk more about the medical community another time, but your family history plays a role in this too, because, for example, if you have Alzheimer's, if it runs genetically in your family, your supplement chart, let's call it, what you should be looking at would be a little bit different than somebody else's. So these are things you want to be able to, it would be lovely if every GP on the planet took all of this into consideration. It's just not what they're trained to do, unfortunately. So
I'm 64, and I can tell you, I've never read a blood test in my life. It's not that I've never had one. I have no idea what they're checking. And I don't look for numbers. What I look for, and I will tell you, I wish that I was more educated, but not as a doctor. And I'm not looking for a doctor to explain it to me, for how to live with these numbers, what they mean. And I can tell you, my father ended up with a blood disease, and we went back to read his numbers. And maybe, just maybe, if I understood those numbers, because they told my father, oh, you should come back and get that checked, and never followed up. When we compared the numbers, we found out he had blood cancer. Now, had we understood those numbers, maybe things would be different. Probably not. But what I'm going to say is there are some things not as serious as that. Just little things like I'm deciding I'm going to take vitamin D to sleep, but meanwhile, I'm going to overdose on vitamin D maybe because I haven't checked the numbers. So maybe it's just the magnesium. So I'm going to say, stay tuned. There will be not a checklist on blood. That's the wrong one. But you're going to see something for the physical pillar come out, though, that you can be more intelligent and live in your life. And you're very fortunate in one way, because I've decided to take a journey on this pillar. And I really am starting from the bottom. The bottom.
Well, it's going to be great. And don't even get us started on herbal supplements, right, Jean? That's
So Jean, thank you. I'm so glad you accepted to be with us. Watch the YouTube, because I think we're going to record some stuff and try to do mini sessions on different things.
You mean Sage Navigation's YouTube channel?
Yes. Yeah. It's going to come. We're going to go on and record some stuff with Jean, get out to you, and really thank you all. And thank you for bringing me, before I turn 65, I will be very clear on this physical pillar.
Isn't it funny how it's like we have to actually learn about our own bodies, right? Like, it's fascinating to me that, and ultimately it has to do with age and maturity too. You get to a point in your life where you recognize, I don't even really understand my own body. That is really interesting.
So Jean, what age did you start on this journey? Because I just made me realize.
Oh, wow. I started when I was 30, so it's almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
But really, really learning and really getting into nitty gritty of it was like close to 50, because at 60, a lot of people told me it's like hitting a switch. And I've been following every step of the way a body matures or acts. Because I had like acne before when I was 20, and I had a lot. The doctor told me at 25 is going to go away. 25 years old, 3 days later, no more acne. It's like at 30 years old, told me I put 30 pounds on, all equal. And it's like I followed every step of the way. So I go, if I'm gonna start following every step, what's gonna happen at 60? And it's like you start reading about it, and it's like, okay, it's time I really get down to
and
the bottom of this.
And we appreciate this because it's not only there are no doctors available to take the time. There are no nurses available to take the time. So
exactly.
Even if you want to go, well,
we can talk more about that another time. There are places and people you can go to.
For the average
my doctor is good, but if something happens, like an emergency, it's like, I don't know about you in Ontario, but here in Quebec, it's like could range from 10 to 15 hours wait,
Well, and more than that.
It's scary,
You have 7 years to get your own doctor.
Yeah.
So I'm not telling you replace a doctor, but I'm saying the more you know, the more
you need to self-educate.
Exactly. Yeah. So thank you very much.
I'm going to jump, guys.
All right.
See everybody. Thanks, Sean.
You have something to say as you end? You have something to say? You want to tell anybody anything before we leave?
Oh, do you want me to send you a preview index of what we're going to be covering on December 12th, or do you want me to just tell you really quickly?
That's a good question. We're live in Dockside. So Docksiders, is there something you're interested in knowing about? Comment below. Tell us. Have a great night. See you later. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.